I think housing affordability has come to the forefront because people have recognized that it's not an issue that's applicable to a small percentage of the population. It really applies to everyone.
The Live Local Act was a piece of legislation passed by Florida back in 2023, encouraging and facilitating the building of more affordable homes in Florida. It was a perfect storm. More folks recognizing there's a problem worth addressing, and a Senate leader that wanted to do something about it.
The Live Local approach to workforce housing will shut down affordable housing stereotypes and create attainable housing options needed by the majority of our workforce, the backbone of Florida's economy.
The legislature appropriated a record amount of funding in the state's history, over $1.1 billion. You also had a new land use tool that unlocks commercial, industrial, and mixed-use properties for affordable housing development. The idea behind it was to repurpose buildings that may have been sitting there vacant for years. Under traditional zoning regulations, if you wanted to build affordable housing on a commercial industrial site, you might have to go through a multiple year-long rezoning process. This act streamlines a lot of those zoning barriers.
Also, there are some property tax exemptions. For the first time, local governments had the ability to do their local option property tax exemption if they agree to have a certain percentage of those units as affordable. The Live Local Act, when you look at a lot of it, is really focused on that affordable rental, which is so important. You know, as a state that's growing and folks that are moving, we need that rental housing to get folks stabilized and they can then move into homeownership. We have found that more developers are wanting to go through that process and learn how we can, get involved. We're happy to see it. We're happy to bring them into the fold.
Point Grand Mineola, that's our first full-fledged Live Local product. Before the Live Local Act, that land would have otherwise only been able to be developed for commercial purposes. We were able to rezone it and allow it to do 300 multifamily units for the residents of that area.
I always say it's the American dream to have your own home. Those memories are so important that we want to relay that to others. It's really important that children have yards to play in. Parents can have their backyard barbecues. We already have statistics that children who live in their own homes, they are better readers. Just think about the education that all of this brings and the investment it has to the community as a whole.
We're teachers, if you want to boil it down to what we do. We really take things that we've seen in the field that work well, and we convey that to others and say, this is how you can do it. This is how you can make a difference in your community.
The Florida Housing Coalition, they are the best people in the world. Other states and other agencies are looking at Florida and they're looking at that Live Local Act. And we get compliments all the time having our legislatures do something so good for us.
If one of the measures of success for a piece of legislation is increased interest in building affordable homes, the act has already done it. Live Local has been the talk of the housing industry in Florida for the past 2 years. We have estimated that about 30,000 homes are already in the pipeline. Those homes would not have been built as quickly without the act.
It's just really exciting to see, our fingerprint on it throughout and to see the results now starting to happen in communities. I think it's really important to have organizations in your state and identify them and support them in that work and look at it as a true partnership.